Good morning, this is Dwayne, and today we're going to look at how to play the same song a dozen or so different ways. A lot of people don't know that you have free will. You can choose to play a song lots and lots of ways. Of course, you have to have knowledge of chords and arranging and so on to do that, but I'm just going to walk you through a simple song. I think I'll take Kumbaya, and we'll just play it through at least a dozen different ways, okay? Just to show you what's possible. So the simplest way would be just to play the melody with maybe a chord in the left hand. And by the way, simple songs like that, they usually just have 2 or 3 chords. This has 3 chords. It has the C chord, which is C, E, G, the F chord, C, F, A. I'm playing it upside down, of course. And the G 7th chord, which is B, F, and G. I'm leaving D out just because it's a little muddier that way, but you can play the D if you want to. Okay, just 3 chords, which are the primary chords in the key of C. 1, 4, and 5, 7. And of course, if you played it in D flat, it'd be 1, 4, and 5, 7. If you played it in D, it'd be 1, 4, and 5, 7. If you played it in E flat, it'd be 1, 4, 5, 7, and so on, okay? You understand that, I'm sure. So I'm just going to pick out the melody and hold the chords in the left hand. So that'll be way number 1. So we can just go through the song holding the chord in the left hand, or we could play the left hand in quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm pushing the damper pedal down, which makes it sound a little smoother. Okay, so that's way number 2. Now we could play it in Alberti bass, couldn't we? Alberti bass is where you take the bottom note of a chord, the top note, and then the middle note, like this. Bottom, top, middle, top, bottom, top, middle, top, bottom, top, middle, top, bottom, top. Okay, that's quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we could speed it up. We could play it in eighth notes. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3. Okay, that's way number what? 4, I guess. We could also play it in I'll call it a continuity bass by hitting a low C and then 3 C chords, and then a low F and then F chords. Okay. Low C, 3 chords. Low C, 3 chords. Okay, or we could play it in a swing bass, and that means we could play the root, chord, 5th, chord, root, chord, 5th, chord, the root of a chord, and then the 5th of a chord on the 3rd beat. Okay, again. Now, of course, we don't have to play those chords in root position. We can use upward inversions, for example. Watch this. I'm playing the C chord, but I'm turning upside down each time. Same way for the F chord. Same way for G 7th chord. Or we could use an open voiced, I don't know what, I've lost track. That's probably number 8 or something like that. Or we could use an open voiced arpeggio. We're breaking the chord up into 3 parts. So root, 5th, and then 3rd. Watch. Root, 5th, root, 5th, 3rd, 5th, root, 5th, 3rd, 5th. notes, couldn't we? Now we're not limited to just playing the melody by itself on the right hand. We could play chords in the right hand, couldn't we? And that could be combined with any of those left hand styles. Sounding a lot fuller already, isn't it? Or we could use swing bass with that. Let me move it up an octave. Also could break up the notes of the chord in the right hand. Listen. And so on like that. Or we could play it in block chords. Watch this. Have to know a little more to do that, wouldn't we? But I'm just showing you what's possible. So you can play it in block chords, or you can play it in big block chords like this. Or you can play it in Garner style. Like I said, you can play it in any key, of course. You can play it in a I won't do that, but you can play it in a flowing river of sound. That means arpeggio in the left hand and broken chords in the right hand, like this. Terrible. That was really sloppy, but it was also about, what, 12 or 13 different ways to play the same song, and that was my point. So there's lots and lots of ways. So the more you learn about music, the more you learn about chords, the more you learn about form, the more you learn about styles and so on, the better, because it'll just enhance your piano playing. And what I did to a simple song like that, Kumbaya, you could do it to any song. Not classical songs, of course, but any kind of pop or gospel or whatever song. Okay, so that's it for today, and we'll see you again tomorrow with another video. So bye-bye for now. Hi, this is Dwayne again, and I'd like to tell you about a little book that I wrote a few years back. It's called Piano Chords and Chord Progressions, The Secret Backdoor to Exciting Piano Playing. And it's a terrific resource about chords. If you want to know more about chords, you ought to latch onto this book. It's just barely over 10 bucks, 11 bucks I think it is. And it covers all the chords and chord progressions that I talk about in my videos. It's just a great, it's not a substitute for videos, of course, but or DVDs, but it's a great summary, and it's so inexpensive that it's well worth your while to get. Here's a table of contents. You can just look down here and see all the things it covers. Starts out with major, minor, diminished, augmented, 6th, 7th, and on to 13th chords and suspensions and alterations, and then gets on to chord progressions and so on. So it's a very thorough book, and it's got a lot of illustrations. I'll just toggle through a little bit, so you can, and there's the back cover. So it's worth your while to get. So hope you take advantage of that. Thank you. Bye bye for now.